Welcome back to the House of Legends, where great women become exceptional. I am your host, Graciela, and in today's episode, we have a woman that she's not only impacting the world with her life work, but she's the definition of opulence, luxury, and elegance. If you've seen this via YouTube, you can tell right away. If you only listen to us, you're gonna vibe. You're gonna immediately feel the vibe. Her name is Krista. She's a success mentor, and I was sharing with her before we press record that she used 3 words, and actually I used 2 words of those that she used, which are impact, legacy, and freedom. I use impact and freedom. And I think that is really, really important. She's helping us to step into a new paradigm, into a new way of being, breaking the rules or leaving behind the rules. We don't even have to break them. We have to just leave them behind and co-create a life, a luxurious, a beautiful lifestyle. With that being said, Krista, if you can introduce yourself, let us know who you are. And I used to ask this question, what led you to where you are right now? But instead of that, who you need to become in order to be here.
Thank you so much for having me, Graciela. It is amazing to be here with you, vibing from the minute that we connected. So I'm really pleased and honored to be a guest on this incredible podcast, House of Legends. Wow. So Krista Weber, femmeluxlife.co, that's Instagram. Instagram is my playground. That's the best place to find me and connect with me. That's where everything goes down. I'm a success mentor. I believe in holistic success, meaning that I'm not just here to teach and coach on the glamour metrics of the money and the wealth and the income. I'm here to see people's entire lives be rich and luxurious and wealthy in love, wealthy in aligned, powerful friendships, wealthy in freedom, wealthy in physical health. So I don't believe that we can accept excellence in one area and tolerate, I don't think that we have to tolerate less in other areas. So holistic success, and I will add to that, I do love in success in the tangible sense that our world right now measures and requires, in a sense, which is money, which is currency. Because this is how we live in our world. This is how we have a soft life as a feminine creature. We have a soft life by having a fat bank account, and we get to have that. And there's a phrase that I use so often, but I'll never get sick of it. I'm gonna bang this drum until I die. Good things happen when wise women have money. So communities increase, the GDP of nations rises when women have access to their own financial independence, financial agency, healthcare, education, when they have that voice within the household. This is my passion. This is my purpose. This is what I do. And to answer your brilliant question, your intro question, who did I need to become to be this? The first word that came to my mind was brave. I had to be brave. I had to be brave because I am a self-made woman and I became an expat. I married a German man, so I moved to Germany 11 years ago. And leaving my multi-six-figure career that I had beforehand, I became a housewife. I became a Hausfrau in German, we would say. And that put me through something. So I was dependent. And my husband provides an incredible life for us. Like, he's a wonderful, wonderful man, like king energy. And yet I had to know that I'm here for more. I'm not here to be a kept woman. I'm not here, and I love him and I love supporting him. I love being his wife, but I also know that I have more to share, and there's just a powerful message alive inside me. And I remember being brave that, like, I get to want more, and I get to be more, and I get to do more, and I get to have my own thing. And what's interesting here, a lot of female entrepreneurs will have a story of, like, they were living in their car or something, and that's the reality for some people. But what's interesting for me is I literally remember the first coach that I hired, the first business coach that I hired. I remember being like, do I get to do this? Do I get to want more? And do I get to take that risk? And I just remember feeling sick to my stomach at the idea of not doing it. And it took bravery. And then I had to stand up to my husband or to whoever and be like, this is how I'm investing my time. My daughter was very young at the time. Our daughter was very young at the time. And so it was like, I'm going to get up 2 hours before she does. I'm going to stay up until midnight. I'm going to do whatever it takes to do this. And, you know, and then it was just this fire inside, but it was bravery to like look people in the eye and be like, I am an entrepreneur, born and bred. This is who I am. And to break free from this identity that people had of me, the perception that people had. And I think that all entrepreneurs, I think that all leaders have to face that at one point, where the only thing keeping you going is like sweat and lipstick and courage. Right?
Yes, and I love the fact that you said I have to put the courage first. I have to just decide. And even with having that situation of having a beautiful house, having a beautiful like relationship, someone that supports you, for some of women that is the ideal dream. But you felt like this has to be more. So it's really, really amazing to see that. But I would love for you. You mentioned something really amazing, and I think not many or women, and especially in business, I still seen this. I was that woman back in 2020 that we want to help people, we want to just be in service, and that is amazing. That is just a standard for us as entrepreneurs. But when it comes to money, we think like we feel that contraction, you name it, or so many beliefs that we have behind. And you mentioned this amazing phrase about having those leaders that they have the resources, and when we have the resources is when creativity kicks in. Like we feel safe, we feel like we feel more expressed. I will say that we don't require that fully. It's a component that sometimes, if like I said before, it gets too bombarded with labels that we put. And I think that idea of having or money in the on the hands of conscious woman is amazing. Like
Yes.
we do require that. Like money is essential, and when we start understanding what is the real meaning of money, it's just circulation, it's just energy. And well, that is another topic, but is when we actually, like you said, we step into this leader who is no longer trying to hide that yes, I'm here, but I'm here also to have a legacy, to have money, to have resources. You can go a little deeper. If you always were that way, or when was that moment for you when you decide to say, you know what, I want to have the resources, but not just the minimal resources, right? I want to create something big for my daughter, for my clients, for myself.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because we can come at the desire for success, the desire for money, let's just say it, the desire for money, the desire for wealth. There are so many different angles and energies that we can come to that desire from. And I've lived several of them. I've lived many of them. So I'll illustrate what I mean. So when I was 18, I moved out, and there was family drama in my childhood. There was drama. And so I had masculine wounds, I had feminine wounds. And when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, I'm like, I don't trust nobody. I don't believe that anybody is going to take care of me. And I'm doing this on my own. And I have an amazing family, so I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but that was the story that my brain made. And so I became a hustler, and I'm like, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to make my money. So I was an entrepreneur since I was 21 or so. But it was very wounded masculine, like wounded masculine, wounded feminine. And I didn't allow myself to have seasons of softness, seasons of rest. I would pride myself on this. So I was in real estate. I was a sales associate in real estate, 100% commission. Nobody was paying me nothing if I didn't make something happen. So I would brag about, I worked 60 days in a row and I made this much money, and I made like whatever, however much money, tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands. So I brag about that. But there was this sense, it's never enough. And I would only wear black, and my hair was always the same. This short blonde bob, like Anna Wintour, big black Chanel sunglasses, fast black car, all black, everything. That was me. But it was never enough, and I never felt safe. And then the interesting thing, when I got married to my husband, who's this wonderful man, such a love story. He's from Germany. He was working in Boston. We met in the US. We did long distance for 2 years. He asked me if I would come with him to Germany. And then I'm like, well, shut down my business, leave everything behind. And I was like, well, not as your girlfriend. And I'm like, put a ring on it. And he was like, okay, bet. And so he did. And then it was interesting. So it was just like immediately putting the brakes on all of that wounded masculine. And so then I had to soften, motherhood, of course, changed me. So the interesting thing, and then my own personal healing journey, I would say like a second spiritual awakening, because I've always been spiritual, before I started Femlex, before I started my business. The spiritual awakening that was like, wow, you can actually have it all. You can actually have it all. You can have absolute fulfilling love and safety and trust and a beautiful union with a man who fully sees you, supports you, loves you, accepts you, loves you unconditionally. And you can be driven to have an impact. You can be driven and you can be well paid. You can be well paid in the energetic exchange for that. But then the sense of conscious wealth is that there's no longer this dick measuring of personal validation attached to a price tag.
Yeah.
So therefore, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you're in a state of overflow, and therefore your bank account begins to match that you live in overflow, that then you're circulating in overflow. And at the same time, you're being very judicious because you're in union with money as well. You're in union and communion with the energy of money as well. So you become partners. You become partners with wealth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yes. And I love the fact that you mentioned this about having this beautiful relationship with money, because sometimes we put so much pressure out, or we only feel good when we have the money, or when we have the validation, like you mentioned, and that it's just like it could work, but it's not sustainable,
Not
right?
sustainable. Exactly. It's not sustainable. And so and then the need and the purpose, we have to always ask ourselves why. What is the motivation? Why are we doing what we're doing? And success is often a trauma response. As I said before, like we desire success because we need to feel safe. And so then we will create that safety for ourselves. But now for it to be sustainable, your nervous system has to feel safe no matter what. So then where is the safety coming from? Well, the safety has to come from within you. So then this is where the conscious awareness, this is when the self-awareness, this is where the shadow work becomes necessary. This is where humility becomes necessary. This is where pedestals have to be dissolved. And this is where growth can then become exponential. And this is where you begin to play in the realm of, this doesn't have to make sense. This does not have to make sense.
Yeah.
And like this, and like in this exchange with money, like, what is it? It's just numbers on a page. It's just numbers with zeros after it. Like, but what is it? So we have to feel, if we feel limitless self-worth and limitless self-love within ourselves, if we then can help to cultivate that feeling within our communities, then we can create the space for limitless overflow.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned, and you have this beautiful perspective about money, having the relationship, the overflow, and creating that from within. And you mentioned about the shadow work and doing the inner work, because it's just like so many times we reach a certain milestone, whatever you name it, and when we try it, or when we go for the next thing, is when all the things appear. Like it's nothing external. You can have the best strategy, you can have the best support or mentor, but if you it's still inside, you still have some things that you haven't resolved yet. And I'm saying just because we can just immediately work on it, it's going to show up in one way or another. It's going to show up. And especially I think we mentioned as well, you mentioned, I'm not coming also from a family that had money all the time. Like I grew up in Mexico, and for me it was like, I saw my dad working 2 jobs, my mom just being in the house. For me, it was really hard when I started working on my business, and I immediately have like clients right away, like, and I'm going to mention something that I will love have your perspective here when it comes to pricing or services. When I came across when I came in my first business, the first group, I charged like $1,500 for 4 sessions. It was like that. The next for 6 months, I was charging back then 2021 10 grand. And I mentioned those numbers because it's natural for me. And when I mentioned those numbers to one a mentor back in 2022, I was like, how come? I mean, you don't have this, you don't have that. And I was like, I don't have back then I was like, I don't have a website, I don't have this. But I thought it was just like, I was not aware of like whatever other people were doing, right? So
Rules. Yes.
that was like, for me, was just like easy. And when she said that to me, I think I borrowed her belief for a couple of months, and those months were really fucking dry. I was like, what's going on? Where's like, and after we dissolved that situation, I came back to another mentor, and he said, you borrow her idea. For you, it's easy. Just you go and do your thing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, Krista, I would love to know and especially for women, like you said, women that are here to building something great. How do you approach that when a woman that is doing, let's say, 6 figures a year comes to you and says, you know what, I'm ready to go to the next level, but I wanted to do it like you in your way that you mentioned. I want no longer sacrificing going 60 hours per week on my business. I want to do it in a holistic way. What will your approach even for seeing herself in a different way? I think we have to put more. Sometimes we have to put more in order to charge more, in order to bring something for others. And it's not bad.
Okay, this is huge. This is such a huge question, and I love this. And I have to comment first on my perspective of price. I have to say, we have, like, in anything that we do in life, we have to know ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to know ourselves. And price, how I say to my clients, like in my masterminds, in Conscious Opulence or in Killer Queen, I say price is like an outfit. And when you can wear it, wear it. Yeah, and like Fashion Week is happening, like at the time of recording, we're on the end of Fashion Week season, and some people can wear these outfits, some people cannot. If you cannot wear the outfit of your price, don't. Like, you have to be comfortable. And when it comes natural for you, it is natural. And never, ever, ever accept anybody's else projection of what it's supposed to be, what it should. I have conversations like this with people all the time now. So this is going to be your body wisdom. This is your body wisdom. And I'm gonna come back. I'm a manifesting generator, so I'm thinking in like 6 different paths at the same time right now. So I'm gonna come back to how I would guide and coach somebody who's making 6 figures, wants to go to 7 figures, where we would start, what we would do. I'm gonna come back to that. So pricing, body wisdom. If you feel sick to your stomach, offended, tired, or angry about a price, resentful, that's not the price. That's too low. If you feel imposter syndrome, or like not even imposter syndrome, but if you feel like drawing a blank, like there's a client that I've been working with, and she's like manifesting 100K days. I know that 100K days are so possible. I was just on a call with a client before our conversation right now, and I was like, I can have a 100K day whenever I want, almost. Like I've proven it so many times. Like it's so interesting. And I feel like that's a whole nother conversation. But this one client, she's like, she has to go to 10K days first because her human has to catch up with spirit. Spirit is limitless. Universe is limitless. Energy is limitless. But we are spirit having a human experience. Our human has to catch up with the potential and the possibility. So like, we have to be able to wear that outfit. We have to be able to see it. We have to, so it's okay. So like, anybody who's listening, give yourself grace and let it be okay for your process to be your process. Let your evolution be your evolution. Like, before I had my first 6-figure sales day, I think it was 118K sales day. And this particular, like, these clients are still in my world, like they extend again and again. Before that, man, I was journaling about it, manifesting it, visualizing it, like, I was doing that for like a year. And then I will tell you, when it happened, I freaked the fuck out. I was in a bathtub, like shaking and like whispering in secrets in Voxer to my mentor, be like, it happened. I don't know what to do. Oh my, and like as if I did something wrong, because my nervous system could barely handle it. Do you know what I mean? So my human had to handle that quantum leap. So pricing is like an outfit. If you can wear it, wear it. Yeah. And now, so that's the body wisdom aspect. I want to come to the practicality aspect, because money is real and we are responsible. We are businesswomen. We are responsible people. So we must also consider in pricing our experience, our mastery. How many hours do we have in our craft? What is our lived experience? So like when I first started FemmeLux, man, I was mindset coach, I was boundaries, I was confidence, personal power. I could do that in my fucking sleep, because that is how I live my life. So, you know, I'm turning 40 this year, and I was like, this is a walk in the park, like, let's do this. So it was easy, you know what I mean? So we still have to be responsible. We can't read a personal development book one time and then be like, I am a coach and I charge 10K a month necessarily. Do you know what I mean? So we do still have to be, that's part, I think that's part of the outfit. That's a piece of tailoring the outfit. Like let's think about the practical details. And then also, yes, let's be aware of the competitiveness of the market. Let's be aware of, you know, what does the market look like? If we want to blow the market apart, blow the market apart. Don't be like everybody else. Be Chanel. Like go blow people's minds. Be Maison Margiela. Blow people's minds if you want to. It's amazing. Choose it. Why am I using so many fashion references right now? I don't know, but it works.
Here, you know,
it works. I think it works with us. Yeah. So now, if a person was coming to me, when a person comes to me, the first thing that I look at is going to be their human design. And then I'm going to want to deconstruct their business with them. So if I have a projector who doesn't know how to be a projector, and they're acting like a super generator, but they're burnt out, bitter, resentful, they're not waiting for the invitation. The way that it feels for a projector to be uninvited, sometimes, this is the best analogy, projector clients have thanked me for this. So here's a good one. It would be like, and my husband's a projector, so I can attest to this.
Come from experience.
I know this one. A projector uninvited, sometimes because they have the penetrating aura, they see shit. They see shit other people do not see. It feels like a person coming into the change room when you're trying something on in a store and then reading you. Like, it doesn't really, it's like that, and you're like sort of violated. You're like, I did not ask. But if you were to walk out and be like, what does somebody think of this? And the reason for that is because projectors have limited energy resources. They're not meant to give their opinions, their wisdom, where people don't have the space to receive it. That's a waste of their energy. So for the projector, that's why they wait for the invitation, because that person actually is going to utilize that wisdom. Anyways, so the first, I would look at their business model. I would look at their human design, their open centers, their defined centers, their channels, the wounds, the gifts, everything that makes them so magical. I would look at all of their offers. I would look at their menu. What are their services, their offers? I would play with them. How do you feel about it? How lit up are you? Like, are they still in love with their body of work? And then I would, of course, show them fun ways that they can stretch the offers, that they can shift them, that they can do add-ons, this and that. And it's so much fun. We create so many different pathways. And then when it comes to not, because some people listening are going to be like, that sounds like a lot of work. I am already tired just listening to this. I don't want to do it. Here's the interesting thing. Yes. So here's the cool thing. When it comes to luxury, we've all heard it, less is more. So the interesting thing is that it's actually sometimes easier to sell higher ticket when it's the outfit that you can wear, when it's right, when it's appropriate for the person and it feels good. It's actually less work. And people honor and respect your boundaries, I have clients going down to 3-day work weeks and making more money easier because it feels good. So we look at that work time, we look at the balance, we shuffle the deck, and we reimagine the whole playbook in a nutshell.
This is so powerful, and thank you for mentioning about the energetic part, because this is like you mentioned before in the first minutes of the podcast, that you bring the holistic, you bring it all, and bringing the human design is a game changer. I'm a manifestor, by the way, so this is kind of like even before doing this podcast, I was just, I do have the idea, I'm just gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna get people, and it was like, and it was just really easy and fun, and I did have a guest the other day, and she said, but you don't have this, you don't have that. Like, I never thought of that. I was just like, I do have the idea, I'm just putting it out there, and it works. Like, but I do have, and she mentioned that I do have all the things, but it's like, well, just go and
we're doing it.
You know, like, go and do it. But now I understand that not every single one of us work the same way. Like you said, the projectors need an invitation, and they feel more like light up when you actually recognize their work. And for me, it's like, I do have this beautiful like aura that, and excuse my language here, that either people will love me, or it's like
or not. You're the fire starter. Like, take it or leave it, but the world is different after you've been here. And this is, again, like, as a mentor, as a coach, I need to know my client's human design. Like, if they're a reflector, projector, manifestor, manifesting generator, it's so different, all of them. I need to know how to best coach and support them in their way of success, not some cookie cutter, basic template, click, click, click. You know, that's really helpful sometimes for foundational things. But like I say as well, it's about knowing the rules so that you know how to break them.
Yeah. So true.
Because you're not supposed, like, God help anybody who tries to slow you down. Like, God bless. God help anybody who gets in your way, Graciela.
Yeah, one of the things I used to be like, and now that I know myself more, is like, for me, even for interacting with people, they're like people. That's why maybe in one way or another, I led to be an entrepreneur. But I was like, I feel like the fire, like, oh God, it's like the fuck you attitude, like, get out
of my way. Either get on board or get out.
When I was working with someone, like, you have to do it this way, it was like, and now I know that by suggestions are like, because I need to pick, right? But for me, it was just like, what is going on? Something is wrong, because it's like, I feel this every single time. And even with mentors, like you said, but when I have someone that, like you, that can actually get me, you can get, like, hey, you're a manifestor, options, freedom for me is really, really important. The game change, right?
And then, like, I love helping people to rest and make more money. Like, to trust everything that you've built, to trust everything that you're doing, and for yourself, as a manifestor, without the sacral, so without that consistent energy source of the sacral, like, I'm a human battery, like manifesting generator, I need an off button, and I use it. I honor myself. For yourself, you literally need to rest. Like, rest is a moneymaker. And like, anytime you start to feel like that prickly anger creeping in, then it's time to go chill, and you're going to make money while you're at the spa. That's how it works for you.
That sounds so great. Yeah. The only thing for me was like a lot when at one point I didn't know when enough was enough. Like, and now I know that when I start feeling like this little like anger, and it's like I have to remove myself. I have to move things around, because it's not gonna work out. Like, I'm gonna really be really mad, and I'm gonna project things, and it's like, no.
Yeah, and then I have clients, like very successful clients, who are manifestors as well. Freedom, like, that's the love language. Freedom, breaking the rules, shaking things up, pioneering new ways. Like, you leave a trail of fire behind you, and then people can trace the breadcrumbs of where you've gone by following that fire. So it's amazing. Pioneers here to change the world. Every time you rise, so I do work with chakras as well. So I do chakra work with my clients as well. That's a massive game changer when something is out of alignment. And when we can tend to that, it's like fixing it's like fixing the gears within a clock. So all these little gears that are working together, and if one of them is not working correctly, it affects everything.
Yeah.
So every single time that you rise, I think of it like this: every single time that you rise, plateaus, dips, how people call it sometimes, this is totally normal and it's fine. Here's something interesting that can feel so good. And when you think about it this way, it's like, wow, that makes sense and it feels good and I don't judge myself. So as a manifester, especially, when you move so fast and you rise, so if you think about your root chakra, which is also connected to money, to wealth, to being supported no matter what, to being safe, and it's like also like really fierce energy. Like when I think of root chakra, I think of like black obsidian, a pair of shiny black Louboutins with a red bottom. That's perfect for the root chakra. I've prescribed that to a client. I'm like, go buy a pair of black Louboutins to support your root chakra. And they're like, okay, I like that homework. But every time that you rise, if you think about this, if you rise so fast, did your roots get a chance to get grounded again? Or did you rise so fast that now your root is hanging out in the middle of the air, you know? And so sometimes when I have a manifestor client, they're moving fast and it's just like, just go chill, like go wherever you need to go. If it's the beach, or if it's the forest, if it's a spa, if it's just completely unplugging, airplane mode, whatever it is, and then go do some root chakra work and just reground, because you've risen so fast, reground in to that safety, security. And the way that I do root chakra work, it's like you plug your root in to the earth, let the earth fill you back up with all of that energy. Let it be drawn in through your roots, and you're drawing in magnetism, you're drawing in power, you're drawing in all the resources that you need at the new level that you're at. And every single time, like 3 or 4 days later, they come back and they're like, okay, Krista, next big idea. We're doing this, do this. And I'm like, okay, we're going. It's like, oh, it's a 10K day. Oh, it's okay. Oh, okay. We're moving fast. Great. So that's the little advice any manifestors listening, or anybody who wants to take that. Don't let your roots dangle. When you rise high,
and even for myself, this is like, sometimes we could have that, but like you said, that the safetyness has no time to, or we don't feel like grounded anymore, because we've moved so fast with projects, with clients, with whatever ideas that we have. And I think by doing that, not just like, oh yeah, it sounds good, I'm just doing it, it's gonna change the game, not only for me, but for other manifestors.
I love it.
I love Krista, that you're so magnetic, I'm telling you. And when I saw you first on social media, I have to say, like, you draw me. I was like, I was like, this is the energy that I want to, I just want to be part of my world. And that is part of your magic as a manifestor generator, you know, like being magnetic, like you attract, you are the attractor, you are the vortex.
Thank you so much. I received that. And that's part of being, that's part of that holistic success. That's a huge part of that holistic success. I love myself. I like myself. I take care of myself. I don't do shit that I don't want to do. Strong boundaries. You know, the manifesting generator has the activated throat, and the activated sacral, but like, so it has to feel good in my body, and then it has to feel right for my voice. And so boundaries are a huge one. And when that's off, I have to say, when that's off, the magnetism is off. So that's also why I keep it so real, because authenticity, that's magnetic. And like I said to a client, I had a client go viral and fast. And then interestingly, like when your account blows up really fast, after a certain number of followers, it's like you're not a person anymore. And then people feel like they can just say whatever to you in the comments, and they forget that there's like a woman behind that account. I've seen it so many times. And this one client, so she blew up, and then there were some, like people having shitty debates in her comments. I mean, if anybody's read a comment section on a huge account, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's whatever. You just really have to tune it out. And this one client, she's like, how are you so chill with this? And I'm like, I'm very hard to embarrass because I love myself. I really love myself. And like that's hardcore self-love work. That's hardcore self-awareness. It's responsibility, it's curiosity, it's leadership, because leadership doesn't have to always be right. Like leadership, actually, like really powerful leadership can kill the ego in a second and be like, I fucked up. I was wrong. I'm learning, and I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm not here to be perfect. And then there's just this delicious freedom that comes with that. And then
Yeah.
you also give other people permission to not be perfect. And then there's so many people who like, they want to take a chance, they want to take a risk, but it's too scary. What if I mess up? And I'm like, I promise that you will mess up. I promise that you will.
Yeah.
I promise that you will, and I promise that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then that's the freedom to go fucking do it. And
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, and thank you for mentioning that, because sometimes we stop ourselves because the comments or the people are just like, they don't even know who's the woman, like you said, behind the business, and just commenting or projecting things and about themselves, and we take those things personally, and we don't go for the thing that we really want, or we just shy away, or we go back to the safetyness, you name it. One of the things that I did have a season, I would say a season, where there were so many comments, not that good comments, and especially were coming from women. Like, and at one point I was just really triggered, but I was like, I was blocking them, and at one point I was like, I don't have time even to block people, so why I do? And I was start to mention back, and I would say, that was not my experience. If that is for you, so be it. That's okay. So there were shit. I don't even, and
Yeah.
learning, less than less. But the key here as well is, like you said, loving ourselves. I don't taking anything personal, nothing.
Yeah, not really. And then also just being like, imagine what it would take for like what state is a person in that they choose. It's kind of like bullying. My daughter is 8 years old, and so she's in school. And so it's interesting to see like what does bullying look like in school potentially, and then what does it look like in the adult businesswoman online space. And I was like, who has the time, man? Like, who has the time to sit there and to like thoughtfully write out a shitty comment to somebody? And so if I put myself into that state, I then immediately have compassion and a certain kind of detached curiosity, but like it's not taking it personally, because it's like, what is a person's life that they choose to spend their time like that? Number one, and like, God bless, like, I hope that you can be happy, and it's also okay. I also want to say this. It is okay, and I'm not even going to say okay. I believe it is necessary to be a bit of a provocateur, because if we're not, then what the fuck are we doing? Like, then you're just an echo chamber saying the same things that all of the other people are saying. If you're not activating people, then try harder, then like tune in deeper, push the edge even more. If you don't sometimes, not all the time, but like if you don't sometimes have that little of like, people are gonna hate this, oh, they're not gonna like this. If you don't have that, then it's time to check on your authenticity. It's time to check on your realness. Why are you censoring yourself? Why are you playing to the lowest common denominator? Why are you pandering to the people who probably are not going to become clients anyways? Or like,
That's true.
why are you spoon feeding them the shit that they want to hear, or the things that they want to see that reaffirm or validate mediocrity? Why are you doing that? Like, if you're here for excellence, then speak to excellence. That's okay, which is not to never ever to discount the whole, like we've been saying, the wholeness of the experience. But it's like, if we're here to be legends, if we're here to have an impact, if we're here for freedom, right? We're going to be pushing the edge. And the people who appreciate that are going to appreciate that. The people who don't get it, maybe they don't get it yet. But if it pisses them off enough, it might just plant a seed that later down the road, they're like, you know what? I remember that one post from that one person. And actually, I get it now. Maybe we're not in charge of people's timelines. We're only in charge of ourselves.
Yeah, that's so true. And like you said, there's so many people that just can come and stay and do this, do that. But at the final of the day, it's just to be true with ourselves and just share. And like you mentioned, this amazing, like, share here and there some things that you want, just to, you will know that will remove or filter out the people that are not meant to be needed, your clients. I think that's
Repellent marketing.
repellent marketing is key. One of I received one message, and I just want to mention this. It was just like, it was, she took the time to send me like a whole message. She said, "Oh, I've been examining your pictures, and you're only to your pictures or selfies in one way. We want to see the whole spectrum." I was like, pay me.
Yes, unless they're paying your bills, as RuPaul says. If they're not paying your bills, pay those bitches no mind. I've only received, it's interesting, and this surprises people. I don't actually get that much like shady comments. I have gotten a couple, and I'm just like, that is so. My take is like, it is so interesting that is your take on what I said. Like, it is so interesting that is your response. But I feel no requirement to respond or to engage. Nah, like, and it's like I said, like, we're not here to have like visually pleasing. This isn't like Tumblr. Like, we're not here to have visually pleasing whatever. Like, we're here to make an impact. You're here to make a splash, especially yourself. I mean, me too, but especially you, manifester. You're here to, like I said, burn shit down on your way.
Let me share with you. I did have to develop 2 muscles. I used to be a bodybuilding competitor, by the way.
Wow.
I used to compete on bodybuilding and bikini, not the stronger ones, for 3 years. But well, I did have to develop 2 muscles, and now, of course, I'm not. But one of them was the faith one, the faith in me, and the other one is I don't give a fuck. Like, those 2 will have to be in your, because you have to be willing to move, and also to have the people that are not going to move with you, people that will repel you, you name it. So develop the 2 muscles: faith in you and your life work and what you do.
Yes.
And I don't give a fuck. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and I think for me as well, like, being here in Germany when I moved, I didn't speak the language, didn't have any friends, didn't have any family, and then I had a baby, right? And then I had a little girl, and then I had to take care of us for her. Like, I had to be willing to be an idiot. I had to be willing to be terrible at speaking German. I had to be willing to stand out. Like, my fashion doesn't fit here really, and I don't give a shit, because I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. Like, I love myself. You don't have to wear it. I love it. I'm not gonna dim myself. And I think that over this last decade, it built up so much resiliency that I truly, like, people's opinions are none of my business. And also being willing to do what's necessary to grow, because German is not an easy language to learn, and you sound ridiculous. Like, I'll just give an example. 3 words: Schlüssel, Schüssel, and Sessel.
Oh my God.
Okay, Schlüssel means key, like the key to a door or a car. Sessel means chair, and Schüssel is a bowl that you, like, put food in. And so I would be at the breakfast table with my in-laws, and I'm like, can you please pass me the car key? Like, for my breakfast. Or I'd be like in a chair, and I'd be like, this is the most comfortable bowl. Like, just shit like that. And people just look at you, and the room goes quiet, and it's just crickets. You're like, what did I do wrong now? But it just builds up the resiliency like nothing. I could give so many examples.
Sharing that, I don't feel alone anymore. I'm telling you, in the United States, I was only able to speak, I think, 2 words. It was a phrase and a word. It was bye and I love you. That was it. Yeah. So when I was going to the restaurants or things like that, I was like, I was, we were ordering chicken to go, and
you're like, I love you, bye.
Embarrassing. It wasn't 2006, so we went to the thing in years ago. Like, I'm telling you, I was like, that, and I was making the flight.
Like wings for chicken to go. Yes. Go. Yes.
Yes. They were cracking, like, they were like, and I had someone that's like, what do you want?
You're like, I just want chicken to go, man. I don't know.
And I was like, oh my gosh. But that build resilience, and right now it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You
No,
know
it's
what I
important. Like that's resiliency, and I think for being an online business owner, you have to
mean?
learn so fast. You have to be willing to fail. Determination, faith, resiliency. But again, cannot stress enough. Responsibility, curiosity. That is leadership. Like we cannot be crybabies in this business as an entrepreneur. We have to take responsibility. If something didn't work out, that was my call. It didn't work out. There are no failures. There are only lessons. The only time that we lose, it's like the stock market. The only time that we lose is when we pull ourselves out of the game. The only time we lose is when we quit. Otherwise, any single time that you try something and it doesn't work, any single time, that is a priceless gem of a lesson that you are adding to your treasure chest. And I say, like, the more this is controversial, the more you fuck up, the better. That's wisdom that you cannot learn any other way. So make the investment. And like when people shit on some of the things that happen, I'm like, but so were you totally out of agency at that time? Like, did people force you? Like, were your hands tied? Or, there should be some way that we can see a way that we can take responsibility. The second that we do that, we take all of our power back from any situation. And I'm saying this, I in my younger 20s, I had abusive relationship. I was in a very abusive relationship, psychologically, not physically. But still, the guy was messed up. I take responsibility for being the woman who chose to be in that situation. And that was so powerful. That was such a powerful healing moment. And then I found that I can wish him well, truly wish him well, and truly feel neutral. The goal is neutrality, emotional, mental neutrality. It's chill. And I'll tell you why. Because the energetic signature of success, it's actually chill. It's calm. That's the energetic signature of success. If we have this huge spike when we're winning, we're going to have a massive drag if we feel like we have a flop. If we can have, like, there was a time I had a $96,000 sales day, and I was like, cool. And I just kept working. I like did the numbers, I did the math. I'm like, right on, cool, kept working. And then I noticed it later. I was like, wow, Krista, you're so chill. And I'm like, yeah, because the numbers don't define me. And so the day that there isn't a sales, like a big sales day, doesn't define me. The big numbers, they don't define me. And that's a journey, right? It's a journey. I wouldn't have said that 2 years ago.
That is so
But that's the signature of success. It's chill.
Chill. Yeah. And now that you have mentioned that, it's just being, like you said, neutral. And even when I right now when I listen to you, all the conversation, I just felt really safe. Like your energy is just so like peaceful and also full of drive. You're not like, yeah, just chill out the chakras and do the, no. Let's put the action. You know what I mean? Let's do the
Yes.
we can go to the, like, you know what, let's just do this and that, and clients are gonna
There's a
come.
time and a place. Like I will say there's a time and a place. Like I'm a disruptor and it's fun for me. And I like that. And I've always been like that. My whole life I've been like that. But it's also being aware of the environment, like read the room. Like I have like if I have a client, for example, who's a reflector or a projector, and they have a different energetic signature than me. Well, guess what? When we're in a room together, even virtual like this, our energy is playing off each other. People will rent energetic space from me, and then they can feel like supercharged, super activated. And I have to always be like, hey, let's bring it down. How are you feeling? Let's check in with the body. Let's ground into this. And I remind them their design. Let's go at their pace. Like my projector clients, I do not push them to roll like a generator. I do not push them to be a manifester. You know what I mean? So this is my personal fire, like super activated with you. And it's always being mindful. And that's the intimacy, I think, of each individual client container is like, how can I be in the highest service of this client? How can I help this client to bring out the best of her way, and not to be a clone of anybody else, but really like her way. And I think like that is so important, and that is so sacred to me.
Yeah, it's so amazing because when you come from that place, there's no babysitting, there's no attachment, there's no like this is my way, you have to adapt, you have to adjust. It's actually being actually the true leader that
Mm,
can take and help every single one of us in the different the energetic blueprint and work with that, and at the
mhm,
same time making the separation, hey, how you feel,
mhm.
this and that, and not entangled with the client, and not letting as well depending of you, right? Of me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so beautiful and it's so important. And like where the thread can get tangled is very interesting too. So if a person is like, I don't feel good, I don't like this, it's like, okay, let's explore that. Why? And like, let's go deep. And there are processes, there are tools, there are techniques. And then it could be that it's not actually that thing, but it's something associated with, for example, a sales action, something associated with that. And so then with shadow work and with exploration, it might not, like if there's like a sales thing or a technique or a business practice or something. So like let's say if somebody has trouble showing up in their business, for example, if they have trouble with visibility, or if they're afraid of visibility, that's one thing. Or let's say if they cannot be bothered to post on social media. And
Mm,
I find that interesting because we are so lucky that we can. Like,
ah,
I was so grateful. Like, man, I'm in Germany. I have no friends. I have no network of any kind, but I have this phone and I have good Wi Fi and I can have a business that became a multi six-figure business very fast and now multi seven figure. If a person can't bring themselves to create content, sometimes it's something as simple as their inner child has the fear that when they blow up, that they're not going to have time for themselves anymore. It can be something as simple as that. That's where the self-sabotage is. If I post consistently, if I'm visible and I'm authentic and I show who I really am, my business is going to blow up. I'm going to be working 100 hours a week. I'm never going to have time for myself. My inner child, I was neglected by my parents who were overworking when I was little, and my inner child is kicking and screaming and refuses to be successful because she doesn't believe that we're going to be okay. And so then it's like, it's not the sales action and it's not buying another content strategy blueprint something. It's actually just going deep within and being like, hey, guess what? Little inner child, inner Graciela, inner Krista, I love you. You're okay. I'm always going to take care of you. Look at our schedule. I've already planned 2 massages this week. What, you're good. And then it's like, huh, block dissolves, business blows up. It could be something like that. It's interesting.
yeah, and oh my gosh, Krista, and the way that that you're explaining is so clear, simple, and that is also as well. And I want to mention this for the listeners and also for all of us. It's really key to have someone, to have a coach, to have a mentor that is able to see the blind spots, to the little small tweaks, because sometimes there's just a small tweaks that can allow you to really explode. But
Oh
you have
yeah.
someone, because sometimes we have in our own head, or like, yeah, I already buy this, that, this, and that. But we have to have someone that is able to see with neutrality where we are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And then hold it with love. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, Krista, it was a pleasure to have you here. Before we close up, I would love for you to share with us where we can find you. I'm going to put the details, of course, but where we can find you, what are the ways that we can work together with you in this season?
Thank you so much. So Femlux Life at femluxlife.co is the best place to find me. Like I said, Instagram is my playground. I'm a very fast texter. If you text me, expect a barrage of response. The ways to work with me. So I've got 2 masterminds, Conscious Opulence and Killer Queen. Killer Queen is a business mastery hypermind. It is epic. It is iconic. 1 day a week of Q&A with me, quarterly calls, monthly trainings. Conscious Opulence mastermind, 3 days a week of Telegram with me, 2 times monthly calls. Epic. And in Conscious Opulence, we do everything. It's spiritual. We're doing chakras, we're doing human design, we're doing life, we're doing shadow work, we're doing marriages, children, relationships. Everything is on the table there. It's amazing. Working with me one-on-one, there are a couple of spots open for this year, but there's always a way to have a custom container. So if people ever feel the pull, I'm a creative woman. We are co-creating together. So I'm just going to leave that there. If anybody feels the pull, don't be shy, slide into the DMs. Let's talk about it.
Amazing. Oh, Krista, I'm gonna ask you this before we said I'm gonna say goodbye because we'll always indulge right
It's
here.
just see you soon. Yes, it's see you soon.
Right. What is your superpower? What do you consider is your superpower? And I'm not saying as a mentor, as a coach. What is your superpower overall?
I'm like clairvoyance. I just can see things. I'm not kidding. I can see things. I see my clients' messaging. I see their branding. I see through the bullshit with so much love. But if I had to say, like, if I was at dinner with my mother-in-law and my family or something, I would say confidence. I believe that confidence is my super duper duper power. And okay, I know I'm making this long, and I hope I'm not making it weird.
It's all good. It's all good.
Confidence, definitely.
Yeah.
And I have this weird power of being able to find lost things. And I can get yes, like I can find, like I don't lose things. Like something can be gone and I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, I'll find it. I know. And I will just find it. You can ask my husband to count on one hand how many times I lost something. He will go like this, 0, because I find everything. I'm like weird. It's weird. I'm like a bloodhound. I can find anything. Number 2, I can get a stain out of anything, like red wine. I love to cook. I'm a great cook, and I can get any nice outfit. It doesn't matter. If you're having dinner with me and you get a splash of something on your clothes, don't worry. I will get it out for you. So those are my weird superpowers.
Well, and that's amazing. I mean, like, God.
I'm a problem solver, man. I think maybe like if we were to look at the big picture, I'm a problem solver.
I think that is the genius of you, multifaceted now, multi-gifted.
There's always a way. I will always find a way. And I guess like accepting defeat is like, that's hard for me. Like that is accepting defeat is I really, really believe, and I've had an unusual life. I've done a lot of unusual things. I mean, I think you know, like I built my business in a hospital bed while radioactive, recovering from cancer. Did you know that? So you did not know that? I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer as I was launching my business. I signed my first client literally in the hospital the night before this thyroid cancer surgery. Yes, and this was during the pandemic in 2020. And so I was in and out of radiation therapy in like a nuclear isolation bunker. I was radioactive for 5 days at a time as they were just killing off, making sure that all the cancer cells were gone. I literally built my business radioactive in a hospital. That's where I built my first website, sales pages. I was going live from the friggin' hospital bed with this crazy pirate throat slit bandage on my neck. Nothing, like unstoppable, man. Like there's always a way around something. So if somebody comes to me, they think they've got a block, I'm like, let's get to work on that air quotes block of yours and let's like undo it because it ain't a block. Yeah.
Oh my God, you have to reshare that. It's something new. Like sometimes we think there, right? But you have to go live and reshare it. Like with all the content that you're doing right now, but it's like, wow, that is definitely I want to learn from someone that has a like, and excuse my language, the guts, the balls to do something from there. Like,
oh
what?
my gosh. I had to like censor, like I remember the scar on my throat, like Instagram tried to censor me for like graphic content because the scar on my throat was so ugly, because they didn't know that it was cancer when they went in, so they just like got it out. And I had to face, you know, there are 4 kinds of cancer, 2 of them will kill you, 2 will not. So there was like a 50-50 chance. And I didn't know, like, is my husband about to be like the most attractive, eligible widow in the country? Like, do I have to pick my
oh my God, don't say that.
Do I have to pick my child's stepmother? Like what? Like I had to face those questions. I had to face the prospect of death and like be okay with it, which I did. I used my own work on myself. I was my own client. I think that's so important. That brings me back, and I know we're trying to wrap it up and whatever, like this is an amazing conversation. But when it comes back to pricing, I want to come back to this, the outfit of the price. We have the moral and ethical responsibility to be client 0, always. do our own work, be your own client, do your own shit, prove that it works. And then when you do this, you know the before and after transformation because you are it. And do your own work for yourself. I do shadow work for myself all the time. I do the chakra work for myself all the time. I look at my human design all the time. And I'm like, how can I be more me? How can I be more true to myself? How can I nurture myself? And because, you know, so we have that moral responsibility. So in that moment, that's when I was founding my business. I have to tell you, I have had so many accidents. I've had so many crazy surgeries. I exploded my knee in a skiing accident. I was a cripple for a year. My daughter was 2 years old. I had to wear a backpack around the house with crutches, being like a stay-at-home mom. This was before Femlox, before my business. And mentally, I was a disaster. So with the cancer surgery, I was like, I can choose to go down that road that I know, where I am the victim, the world is out to get me, everything is terrible, I'm hopeless, I'm helpless, everything sucks, nothing works, poor me, damsel distress. I can do that. Or I can practice what I preach and I can put this shit to work. And I did. and it worked. I chose complete healing. I chose miracles. And like I said, I signed my first client that night in the hospital before surgery.
That is mind-blowing.
I know. So anything is possible, and know this.
Yes, we have Krista right here. So, oh my gosh, this is so good. Oh God, you are amazing. If I admire you, like right now, you have like, you have my admiration for life. Let me tell you.
Well, thank you so much for this conversation. Like, this has been amazing, and I know like we're technically over the time of normal, but like thank you so much for inviting me and for hosting this, because this is a two-way street. Like, this conversation it's your energy playing off of mine, and I have to thank you for being such an amazing host. Like, I'm so glad that you move fast and you do what you want as a powerful manifester, because this is an incredible podcast that you're hosting here.
I didn't wait to have everything ready. Like
No.
just put it here. I do have the links here. Let's put it simple, easy. Let's move.
Yeah.
And right now, thank you so much for, like I said, for accepting the invitation. But right now, they're like with all the recordings, it's you have almost all until October, so week by week with guests. So it's just really nice to see, like, from one idea you just put out there without any like, you know.
Yeah, but that shows it's correct for you. That shows it's correct. When it's working, you're in the yes. You're in the yes. That's perfect.
Thank you so much, Krista. It was a pleasure to have you here. And for all of you guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you.